one of my hats is that I'm a professional or a working artist and writer. I freelance for various magazines around the region and have been practicing art for my whole life. So I decided to work on a project about dreamwork, dreams and symbols and the different keys that they unlock and all of that kind of stuff. And so I've been working on this project for about 3 years. I've been posting it through Instagram, and a publishing company that I highly value found it and reached out and asked if I'd be willing to do it in book form, which was the ultimate goal, but more on a self-publishing format. And so since they approached me, I'm happy to do it. And so I have a book deal with Workman Publishing. The manuscript is due in a couple months with publication date May 2021. What I would do is every night that I would have a dream, the next day, if I had time, I would write it out, and then as time permitted that day, started sketching some of the obvious symbols that came through, like, I don't know if it was a house or a cat or being trapped or something like that. And so I'd illustrate it, I'd watercolor illustration, I would research different dream philosophers and psychologists and cultural and historical significance of whatever that symbol might be, and started writing about it, and then I would post that to Instagram. And then through just years of doing that and hashtagging, and that's how the publishing company found it. It's just the most fascinating experience ever because I think our dreams unlock so much creative potential, and so every morning I'd wake up and write about it. I usually wouldn't have time to go revisit it until later, and when I came back and saw what I'd written, I was like, oh my gosh, that's an obvious metaphor for how stressed I am, or for how many balls are up in the air while I'm juggling, things like that. And it's not until you can look at it through that writing and creative element that you really start seeing what the subconscious is telling us. And I think it's really important for people to kind of be that intuitive with themselves, because I think it can help. And Dreamwork can definitely feel a little more on the metaphysical side, and that still has a stigma or it's not quite mainstream. And I'm looking at it from much more of a psychoanalytic and psychology and symbolic approach. But then just marrying the two worlds is really fun too, because then I start thinking like, well, maybe someone else is dreaming the same dream and we're all on a cosmic radio. And so it definitely, just saying that out loud, people are still like, okay. So but it's fun. It's probably been one of the most beneficial projects I've had the opportunity to do, because from there I have short story ideas or big art projects or paintings or ways to solve problems in my professional world. Just I've learned a lot of ways to cope or be proactive in my waking life. I do dream where I can control the dreams, and if I'm not too thrilled with the way things are going, my dreaming self's like, hey, come on, change it. And so I can switch things around. Not always, but sometimes. And I think that also is a really great opportunity for high stress situations. With my professional daily life, I do a lot of event planning and fundraising, and so I get really worked up about the outcome, and so I'll have stress dreams and anxiety dreams, and so it really helps me the next day to be like, it's okay, we figured it out, we're going to go forward. So I think it has some potential that is interesting.